vacations cost a lot more money than they used to. And with work, with stress, with the family, a lot of times we feel like we want to get away, we want to do something, might even want to move abroad or retire abroad. So today we're going to share some strategies with you that will help you to offset the cost of vacations without breaking the bank. So welcome back to Beyond Travel Check-ins with Saida
and Jermaine.
We help travelers learn how to travel for very cheap in very practical ways using points and miles. So Jermaine, what made us start learning about points and miles, and how much money do you think it actually saved us so far?
You know what? I don't know what made us start. I remember you brought it to my attention. Right? Oh, you're going to do that, huh? Yeah, so, and you brought it to my attention, and I looked at it, and I just filled out the little course, and then we were up and running ever since that day, right? We probably went on our first little mini vacation, less than a month later? Mm-hmm. No, it was probably 2-3 months because I had to fulfill the obligation to the credit card.
Yeah. So yeah, I came to Jermaine and I was just telling him I was seeing online where people were using points and miles to travel, and typically you would think, and this is what I thought the only way you could use points and miles to travel was you had to like work a job that requires you to fly a lot, then you would get all these points and miles. Mm-hmm. But there's ways to actually do it, and it's very powerful, and we are going to talk to you about like how this stuff actually works. Mm-hmm. So for someone who's over 40 and or older who's new to this, what's the first step to start earning travel points?
Well, the first step, you've already kind of taken it, right? Because you starting to do the research. So like you watching this video, this is research also, right? Because you kind of learning about a new thing. But if your credit is good already, first thing I would do is just get the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Mm-hmm. Just trust me, that's going to be your best card to start out with. We'll probably get into that a little bit later, mm-hmm. but it's your easiest card to transfer points to airlines and probably the best hotel program. So that's probably your best first step. That's not the only step.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, so that's basically signing up for the card, mm-hmm. and then meeting the card requirement to earn whatever amount of points.
The bonus.
Sign-up
points. Yes.
So are there certain cards that are better for beginners who travel only a few times a year? Or would that be the one?
To me, I think that's the one for anybody. If you're just starting out, I think that's the one to do. Mm-hmm. Because it's going to give you, like for us, to give us that confidence to know, okay, points and miles work.
Yeah.
It's an easy program. Chase is an easy program to kind of navigate.
Okay.
So I think whatever your travel style is, you're going to need that card sooner or later anyway. I would just start out with it.
And if you're like a husband and wife team, both of you don't have to know all the details. I think you've got to figure out like who's the person who's going to be like really into it. Because Jermaine, mm-hmm. he knows all the stuff about it, and I just assist him with it. So I'm like what you would call a beginner. So he always says I know more than I think I know.
You know more than the average person for sure.
I guess I know more than the average person, but this is definitely the easiest way to start. So how do you decide? So once you've gotten the card, mm-hmm. once you've met the requirement for the card, how do you decide when to use the points versus paying cash when they're ready to travel?
You mean for like a vacation or a flight?
Hotel stay, flight, whichever. Yeah.
I would say this: if you find something cheap, I would just go ahead and pay for it, right?
Okay.
Usually a good metric is under $100, I think. If you find a hotel you want to stay at, under $100 is not going to break the bank, I would just go ahead and pay for it and get the points by using your credit card.
Okay.
A flight
versus burning your points to pay for a hotel that's affordable.
Yes.
That's within your budget price range.
Yeah.
So you want to use those points for stuff that's like $200 a night, $300 a night.
You can. If you're a beginner, I would just do what I said. Like once you start getting up there, you will start learning. Okay, maybe I can even pay for these cheaper hotels. But right now, if you find a really cheap flight, I would just pay for it.
Okay.
Because you're used to paying for it anyway.
It's true.
But once you start getting for flights getting $250, $300, I would start looking at my points and miles. Some people don't pay for any flights. They say if it's domestic, I'm not using points and miles unless you have like Southwest Companion Pass, which that's for another day.
Okay.
But just starting out, if you find something just super cheap, you're not gonna find any more. I would just pay for it and you get the miles for that.
So what would you say is the best way for couples and families to rack up points? Because I think sometimes when people have like families, they feel like, oh, I can't do this.
Well, I would say, okay, this is when we got the Chase Sapphire Preferred. What I didn't know when I first started dealing with credit cards, we don't sign authorized users for the most part.
Oh yeah.
Because that's going to use up one of your Chase 524 slots. I know I'm speaking.
You might not understand that, but just do not add authorized users to your card. If you're taking notes, write that down. When you get your card, don't just add your spouse as your authorized user, right?
And until you're deeper, then you may have to switch that up a little bit. But as a beginner, if you're a husband or the wife, get the card, fulfill the obligations to get the sign-up bonus, and then refer your spouse.
So you get a referral bonus on top of that.
And then when they fulfill the obligations, then they get the sign-up bonus. So now you have your sign-up bonus, their sign-up bonus, and you got a referral bonus.
And that's
in between.
Quick way to really rack up points so that you can do something. Take your first trip. Right.
So if you get 2 cars, say within 6-7 months, I think the Chase, that particular car bonus it's down at like 60,000. It's been higher, but it's 60,000 is a normal thing. So, but you have 120 plus I think the 10 is the referral. So you got 130,000 points.
So 60,000 points if one spouse signs up. Then another 60,000 points once the next spouse signs up. And when one spouse refers the other spouse, then you get a 10,000 referral. Typically, that's what it depends on which card. So that's how you can rack up some points fairly quickly to take a trip within the next couple of months if you wanted to. So what are some of the common mistakes that travelers over 40 make when using points and miles?
Well, like I said, you started out putting someone as an authorized user. Chase has a rule called 524 where you can only get 5 cars in 24 months. And when you put somebody as an authorized user, it takes up one of the slots. So that's a huge mistake when you're starting out, because Chase is where you want to start accumulating your cars if you want to do it that way. You don't necessarily have to accumulate a lot of cars, depending on how much you want to travel, you know, and how you want to do it. But that is the easiest way to rack up points.
Yes. So with these points and miles, can a person really book nice hotels and international flights, or is it just cheap stays at Roach Motels?
No. Like, it's both. Because right now we in a cheap state.
It's no Roach Motels.
It's not a Roach. No, well, I ain't had the Roach Motel on. But it's a cheap state. But
there are some cheap stays, especially if you're just like, you know, working on building up points or doing a particular program, right?
Yeah.
That's the only reason why we're staying in
because we're trying to build up a program that's a little...
We're experimenting with a new hotel chain.
Yeah.
And so with that, we're going to some of their baseline or basic hotels. But this is not a Roach Motel by any stretch of the imagination. The place is just small. And we've experienced so many nicer places that sometimes it feels like, it's a downgrade. But no, you're not just staying at like cheap places. And we're in Thailand, guys.
And we're doing it much differently than most other people would do it. We're slow traveling, which means we're not staying in the States, right?
Right. And we actually live at hotels full time. We just kind of like, we're always in a hotel.
Yeah.
About 200 something days a year at least. So it's not going to be any roaches where you go. Unless you decide to do some mattress runs, but there still shouldn't be any roaches, right?
No.
So no, it's not just cheap stays, guys. You can really stay at some nice places. What would you say is one of the nicest places you stayed at since we started doing points and miles?
I'm not sure. We stayed at the Park Hyatt not too long ago in Thailand. That was a pretty nice hotel. I think it was.
I do too. So, what was the most memorable trip we've taken? The one we'll start with you. What was your most memorable trip?
I don't really
Points
have
made it
one.
possible.
We went on this kind of before. I don't really have one. You can tell me yours.
Right now, for me, Thailand is really. I mean, we've gone a lot of places this year. We've been in Alaska. We've been in Mexico. We've been Thailand. We've been Kenya, and we've been to Kenya several times. So being here in Thailand, this is somewhere I wanted to go for such a long time, and points and miles have made it possible because it offset the cost that you would normally pay to get here and to stay here. And we have a full video breaking down how we pay $38 a day to stay in hotels in Thailand, which is just incredible, I would say. And like I said, he's more into the points and miles. When he told me $38 a day, I was like, okay, let's do it.
Well, I think Kenya the first time is probably my trip.
Now you got Kenya now. That was your. But did we
Yeah.
do points and miles? No, not for our first trip to Kenya. First trip to Kenya, we didn't do any points and miles.
I didn't?
No.
Well, it's the second trip.
Second trip, yes.
Yeah, because I flew business class.
Yeah. So as you can see, guys, the reason why we created this video and shared this video is because I'm 48. Jermaine is 51, and we recently started traveling and slow traveling, right?
Right.
And so we want to like show you that this is possible and also show you how it's possible. So if you guys got any value from this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye.
All right, bye.